top 8th, Nagato Uzumaki. Nagato was born into the Uzumaki clan, a bloodline known for immense chakra reserves and remarkable vitality. As a child, he unknowingly received a pair of Rinnegan eyes implanted by Madara Uchiha. Madara selected Nagato precisely because his Uzumaki lineage could handle the strain of wielding the Rinnegan. Over time, Nagato began using these eyes instinctively, unaware of their origin. Although his chakra allowed him to use the Rinnegan at a high level, the prolonged stress severely weakened his physical body. This contrast between spiritual power and bodily decay became the defining tension in his journey. Nagato developed his combat system through the 6 paths of pain. He used chakra receivers to transmit his will across 6 different bodies, each representing a specific Rinnegan technique. The Diva path could manipulate gravitational forces, unleashing attacks like Shinra Tensei to obliterate entire areas instantly. With Chibaku Tensei, he formed miniature moons that trapped enemies in orbiting rock prisons. The Preta path nullified chakra-based techniques by direct absorption. The human path extracted souls with a single touch. The animal path summoned enormous creatures to control the battlefield. The Naraka path summoned the King of Hell to interrogate enemies or restore the bodies of allies. Beyond these, Nagato also mastered the outer path. With Gedo Rinne Tensei, he could resurrect the dead, an ability he used to bring the Hidden Leaf villagers back after his attack. His battlefield strategy relied on perfect vision synchronization between the bodies, making it nearly impossible to surprise him. Each corpse functioned as part of a collective system, transforming him into a one-man army operating at 6 angles simultaneously. As the true leader of the Akatsuki during its most active years, Nagato directed operations from the shadows. Under the alias Pain, he destroyed the Hidden Leaf village and confronted Naruto directly. Their battle became a pivotal moment in the series, pushing Naruto to evolve both in strength and ideology. However, Nagato's ideology had been shaped and manipulated by Madara's plan. What he believed to be justice was part of a larger deception. Despite his overwhelming power, Nagato's dependence on remote control made him vulnerable. His real body remained hidden and immobile, relying on mechanical assistance. When Naruto entered the Six-Tails state, he closed the distance and exposed Nagato's position. This moment marked the breakdown of the pain system. Nagato's Rinnegan symbolized both the burden of pain and the pursuit of peace through control. His vision of peace, though flawed, opened the path for Naruto's own ideals to rise. Hey guys, before we continue, a huge shout out to all of you for supporting the channel. We just passed our first milestone of 10,000 subscribers, and we couldn't have done it without you. And we are heading to the next goal of 25,000 subscribers. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. It really helps bring Naruto fans together and keeps the content coming. Now, top 7th, Urashiki Otsutsuki. Urashiki Otsutsuki was a lower-ranking member of the Celestial Otsutsuki clan, but his dojutsu set him apart. He wielded a rare version of the Rinnegan that changed color depending on its active ability. The red and blue transformations of his eye revealed a layered and flexible fighting style, far removed from the brute force approach of other Rinnegan users. This unique variation demonstrated how Otsutsuki members could adapt their Rinnegan to fit their personal battle strategies. The red Rinnegan gave Urashiki access to temporal manipulation. He could rewind time by several moments, resetting the battlefield to a more favorable state. This made him nearly impossible to trap, as he could escape failure by simply undoing it. During the time travel arc in Boruto, he used this to counter the actions of both young Naruto and Boruto, making tactical adjustments mid-fight. His blue Rinnegan granted short-term precognition, allowing him to perceive events a few seconds before they occurred. This was not intuition or body reading. It was literal foresight. With it, he could evade traps, interrupt counters, and execute precise strikes against unpredictable opponents. What made his fighting style especially dangerous was the modular nature of his eye. He shifted seamlessly between abilities, turning his Rinnegan into a rotating arsenal of techniques. This destabilized the standard rules of ninja combat, which typically relied on strategic preparation. Urashiki forced his opponents to improvise every second. In the storyline, Urashiki appeared during the Boruto time travel arc, where his presence created temporal anomalies and placed young versions of major characters in immediate danger. Although he posed a real threat and displayed considerable potential, he lacked the lasting impact of other Otsutsuki figures. His influence was limited to the arc and did not extend beyond it. Despite his versatile abilities, Urashiki was hindered by limited stamina and inconsistent judgment. His reliance on time reversal could not compensate for poor tactical awareness. When Boruto and his allies coordinated their attacks effectively, they exposed the gaps in his planning and overwhelmed him. Urashiki's color-shifting Rinnegan reflected adaptability but also signaled instability. His approach to combat was creative but unfocused, emphasizing potential over discipline. In the end, his powers revealed the limits of versatility without purpose. Top 6. Momoshiki Otsutsuki. Momoshiki Otsutsuki introduced a new variant of the Rinnegan, one that broke conventional patterns. Instead of appearing in the eyes, his Rinnegan were embedded in the palms of his hands. These eyes remained purple in base state, but transformed into gold when he entered his enhanced form. This transformation occurred after absorbing Kinshiki, signaling the moment he reached his peak power. The golden Rinnegan marked not only a visual evolution, but also a massive jump in strength, speed, and combat effectiveness. His right-hand Rinnegan functioned as a chakra vacuum. It could absorb any ninjutsu technique, regardless of its scale or nature. Rasengan, elemental blasts, or chakra-based attacks were all rendered useless as soon as they were drawn into his palm. The left-hand Rinnegan reversed this process. It amplified and expelled the absorbed technique with greater power and wider area of effect. For example, a basic Rasengan could be returned as a massive high-velocity spiral capable of leveling terrain. Momoshiki could repeat this process without pause, turning his opponent's own jutsu into fuel for overwhelming counterattacks. Beyond this, he used absorbed chakra to generate chakra pills. These were ingested instantly, giving him immediate boosts in power and recovery. After consuming Kinshiki, Momoshiki evolved into a deity-like state. His golden Rinnegan remained active, and a third eye opened on his forehead. His movement, reaction speed, and destructive power increased drastically, allowing him to fight on equal footing with Naruto and Sasuke at their prime. However, his technique remained centered on absorption and redirection. He avoided hand seals and original jutsu, relying entirely on his stolen power. Momoshiki's role in the Boruto storyline was central to its future direction. His defeat did not end his influence. By embedding karma into Boruto, he established a method of spiritual survival, ensuring his will and abilities would resurface in another form. This act shifted the long-term stakes of the series. Despite his strength, Momoshiki lacked tactical depth. His strategy relied too much on absorption loops. When faced with unpredictable teamwork, especially from Boruto and Naruto, his pattern became exposed. The timing of his counters could be disrupted, and without original jutsu, his options were limited. The golden Rinnegan reflected hunger for strength and control. It symbolized unchecked consumption, which, when miscalculated, led to his defeat. Top 5. Obito Uchiha. Obito obtained the Rinnegan through transplantation, using one of Madara's original eyes. He combined this eye with his own Mangekyu Sharingan, which granted him access to Kamui, a space-time manipulation technique. This combination produced a unique duality of offense and evasion. While most Rinnegan users focused on raw destructive power or divine abilities, Obito merged stealth, control, and dimension-based tactics into one seamless system. Kamui allowed Obito to shift parts of his body, or his entire form, into another dimension, making him intangible to most attacks. This ability, paired with the Rinnegan's chakra receivers, allowed him to control tailed beasts by piercing them with black rods. He used these rods not just for suppression, but also for remote control and coordination across the battlefield. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Obito's power reached its peak when he became the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. In this state, his Rinnegan enhanced his sensory perception, reaction time, and destructive reach. He used the Tree of Death to create widespread chakra-sapping fields, and through the Outer Path, he summoned the demonic statue of the Outer Path, and could even initiate resurrection. Obito's role in the storyline evolved continuously. He began as a masked manipulator working behind the Akatsuki, then revealed himself as the architect of the infinite Tsukuyomi plan. During the climax of the war, he changed sides, realizing the emptiness of his path. His final acts helped Naruto and Sasuke in their battle against Kaguya, concluding his arc through sacrifice. Obito's main limitation was the lack of a second Rinnegan. With only one eye, he couldn't fully access the Six Paths techniques at their maximum potential. Additionally, internal conflict impaired his focus. His motivations were fractured between personal loss, revenge, and manipulated ideology. These psychological weaknesses created openings that his enemies exploited. His Rinnegan represented a contradiction, an eye of godly power tied to a man torn by guilt and lost identity. In the end, it became a tool of redemption rather than domination, reflecting the slow shift from destruction to clarity. Top 4th, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke awakened his Rinnegan during the climax of the Fourth Great Ninja War. This unique eye appeared in his left socket after he received a portion of Hagoromo Otsutsuki's chakra. It took the form of a standard Rinnegan, but with 6 black tomo lining its rings, merging the powers of the Rinnegan and Mangekyo Sharingan. This fusion gave Sasuke access to techniques beyond any previous Uchiha. His signature ability, Amino Tejikara, allowed him to switch positions with objects, enemies, or allies within a certain range. This technique required no seals or contact. It could reposition him instantly, turning defense into attack and trapping opponents through misdirection. Sasuke also opened dimensional portals, which he used to track the Otsutsuki across their different realms. These portals granted him a rare mobility advantage during combat and infiltration missions. Despite his new powers, Sasuke retained the abilities of his Mangekyo Sharingan. He continued using Amaterasu, the inextinguishable black flames, and manifested a complete Susanoo. With the Rinnegan, he added chakra absorption through the Prita path and gravitational control via the Diva path. These techniques provided both offensive and defensive versatility. During his battles with Momoshiki and Ishiki, Sasuke shifted between close combat and spatial manipulation with precision. His strategy relied on overwhelming his enemies through sudden changes in position and unpredictable attacks. In the narrative, Sasuke played a central role in ending the Fourth Great Ninja War. He helped seal Kaguya and later dedicated himself to protecting the world from new threats. His transformation from Avenger to Guardian symbolized his change in ideology and loyalty to the Leaf. However, the Tomoe Rinnegan came with limitations. It consumed large amounts of chakra, and excessive use caused the Tomoe to vanish temporarily. This reduced the eye's functionality and weakened Sasuke's tactical options. During extended fights, he was forced to manage energy carefully to prevent burnout. Sasuke's Rinnegan symbolized internal balance. It represented the reconciliation between the destructive power of the Uchiha and the wisdom inherited from the Sage of Six Paths. His eye was a visual marker of redemption and responsibility. Top 3. Madara Uchiha. Madara awakened the Rinnegan decades after implanting Hashirama's cells into his body. By merging the chakras of Indra and Asura, he recreated the conditions that once gave birth to Hagoromo's power. The result was a naturally evolved Rinnegan, developed through years of planning and manipulation. Madara's Rinnegan granted him access to Limbo, Hengoku, a technique that summoned invisible shadow clones in a parallel dimension. These clones could attack opponents while remaining undetectable to anyone without Six Paths level abilities. Only Naruto and Sasuke, who had received power from Hagoromo, could sense and counter them. Madara also used Chibaku Tensei at a massive scale, calling down multiple meteors that overwhelmed entire battlefields. After becoming the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, he gained the ability to cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, trapping the world in an eternal illusion. The Rinnegan enhanced his connection to the outer path, letting him summon the demonic statue and control tailed beasts through chakra rods. His manipulation extended far beyond direct combat. Madara orchestrated events from the shadows, setting up Nagato and Obito as pawns in his larger Moon's Eye plan. His influence shaped much of the world's chaos leading up to the war's climax. Madara was ultimately betrayed by Black Zetsu, who hijacked his body to revive Kaguya. Although he reached a near-omnipotent state, his downfall came from a failure to recognize deeper manipulation. He also lacked mastery over space-time abilities, which limited his ability to respond to teleportation-based tactics used by Sasuke and others. The Rinnegan in Madara's hands reflected the peak of shinobi evolution driven by ambition. It turned him into a symbol of overwhelming force, but also revealed how unchecked power without purpose could spiral into self-destruction. His rise and fall became the critical turning point that reshaped the shinobi world. Top 2. Hagoromo Otsutsuki. Hagoromo Otsutsuki was born with the Rinnegan, inherited directly from the divine chakra of his mother, Kaguya. This made him the first natural wielder of the Rinnegan, and the first known person to fully understand and utilize its capabilities. Unlike others who awakened the eye through artificial methods, Hagoromo's Rinnegan manifested as part of his lineage, combining spiritual power and natural potential. It became the foundation of all ninja techniques in the world that followed. With his Rinnegan, Hagoromo mastered every path technique. The Diva path gave him control over gravity, allowing him to push or pull with precise force. The Preta path absorbed chakra from any attack, neutralizing ninjutsu instantly. The Naraka path summoned the King of Hell, capable of interrogation and healing. His use of the outer path let him summon souls, restore the injured, and maintain balance between life and death. He wielded Gudodama, truth-seeking orbs composed of all chakra natures, which erased anything they touched. Hagoromo also sealed the 10 tails within himself, becoming its first Jinchuriki. Through this act, he stopped the spread of destruction caused by the beast and brought stability to the world. More importantly, he created Ninshu, a precursor to ninjutsu, intended to foster understanding rather than warfare. In the narrative, Hagoromo served as a mythical origin. He founded the shinobi system and passed on his knowledge to humanity. When Kaguya returned, threatening the balance once again, he chose Naruto and Sasuke as the inheritors of his power. By granting them parts of his chakra, he enabled the final sealing of their common ancestor. Despite his wisdom and power, Hagoromo did not defeat Kaguya alone. He required the support of his brother, Hamura, to seal her away. This collaboration revealed the limits of his power in comparison to his mother's raw chakra. Even as a sage, Hagoromo acknowledged the importance of unity and shared purpose. Hagoromo's Rinnegan symbolized enlightenment and harmony. It bridged yin and yang, spirit and flesh, strength and compassion. As both a protector and a teacher, he laid the groundwork for a world that continues to follow his ideals long after his death. Top 1. Kaguya Otsutsuki. Kaguya Otsutsuki was the first being to wield chakra on Earth. After consuming the chakra fruit from the divine tree, she awakened a third eye on her forehead, known as the Rinnegan. This dojutsu combined visual and spiritual dominance. It glowed crimson with 9 tomo, representing its status as the origin of both the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. Kaguya's power exceeded all who came after her, but she lacked the structure and restraint of later generations. With the Rinne Sharingan, Kaguya cast the infinite Tsukuyomi. This technique reflected her eyes light off the moon, trapping the entire world in an illusion. The jutsu bypassed normal resistance and consumed the chakra of all life, feeding the divine tree and reshaping reality. Only those protected by Six Paths Chakra, or Susanoo, could avoid capture. Beyond genjutsu, Kaguya used dimensional shifting. She moved freely between multiple realms: fire, ice, gravity voids, and acidic swamps. These spaces served as weapons and traps, giving her absolute control over terrain. Her chakra reserves allowed her to manipulate space, matter, and perception without hand signs or jutsu structure. She bypassed standard combat systems, relying on instinctual control and brute force. Fighting Kaguya meant surviving both her raw power and her ever-changing environment. In the storyline, Kaguya appeared as the final antagonist of the Naruto series. She emerged from within Madara's body after centuries of preparation through the Moon's Eye plan. Her presence reframed the conflict from a human war to a cosmic struggle. Naruto and Sasuke, empowered by Hagoromo, worked together to seal her, ending her reign. Despite her divine origin, Kaguya lacked combat experience. Her reactions were slow against coordinated attacks. She underestimated the adaptability of human strategy, which allowed her opponents to corner and seal her once again. The Rinne Sharingan represented total control without understanding. It symbolized unchecked ambition and solitary rule. Kaguya's rise shaped the shinobi world, but her fall revealed the dangers of power disconnected from wisdom. Her legacy was not just in bloodline, but in the warning it left behind.